Hey guys, it's Dave. Welcome back to the channel, and we just got some insane, probably the most craziest Scream 7 updates we've ever gotten since we heard that Nev was coming back and Kevin was returning, so let's get into it. So I just want to give you guys a little rundown of what's been happening before this crazy announcement. So, the past few weeks have been, they've been filming Scream 7 in Atlanta with the cast and everyone. McKenna's there. They did the TikTok with her and everything, which is cool. Courtney's down there filming. I think her theme is going to be purple this time around, which is cool. I love how, she always has, this color theme going on for all the movies, which is really cool. But, so yeah, we got the announcement that Mark Consuelos is going to be in Scream 7 as a possible reporter or, some sort of rival to Gale. Those are the rumors, which is really cool and interesting. So I'd like to see how that, how their chemistry together would be on scene, because I think that'll be really cool. So, and that's something we haven't really seen, other than, I would say the closest similarity to that would be Scream 3 when Gale and Jennifer were together, I think that was the last time we saw someone, really heated with Gale. So I'm excited to see that again. I think his character is going to be really cool, so I can't wait to see that. But getting into the big news, on Thursday, we got crazy news in regards to casting. Scott Foley, who plays Roman Bridger in Scream 3, the Ghostface, is returning, and Matthew Lillard, who plays Stu Macher from the original Scream movie, the original Ghostface, is also returning. And I'm sure no one believed it the first time I saw it. So when I just saw it on my phone, I was like, there's no way this is real. I didn't really believe it at first. When I saw Scott Foley's, which was earlier in the day. Stu's didn't come out until later. I saw his, Scott Foley's, I was like, there's no way he's returning. And I keep scrolling and I see more and more and more, and then Deadline reports it, The Hollywood Reporter. And then I was in shock, because I was just so shocked. I didn't have any words. I didn't know what to post. I needed to say something, but I didn't know how to say it because it was so soon. I was walking home from school, and I was like, what the hell do I say? What do I post? So I get some photos and I post some things in the meantime to hold you guys over for until now. But, Roman is my favorite Ghostface, just because the history and, his motive and everything like that. It's the most personal to Sydney's. He really started this all. He organized the Ghostface killings in the first movie, and he was behind Maureen's death. Well, he didn't actually kill her, but him, Stu Macher and Billy killed her, but he's the one who really planned it. So I was so shocked to see this, because I was like, how the hell is this guy gonna return to Scream? That's where the theories start coming in. Is there gonna be some sort of nightmare that Sydney has, or something like that? Is there gonna be a vision like she had with Maureen in Scream 3? Will it be a flashback? Many people think that there could also be some AI, because there's rumors that AI is supposed to be really featured in this movie. So we are speculating that there could be a FaceTime call from Ghostface, and it could be Roman AI version of him, and they cast Scott Foley for that, which I think that would be cool and creative. But I would also just really like to see him actually on screen in person in a flashback or a dream. But we'll see where they go with that. I'm just really happy that my favorite Ghostface is returning, so I'm so excited to see what happens with Scream 7 now that he's back. Now, the announcements weren't done there. I know everyone probably thought they were, but then later that day, around 5 p.m. or 8, depending on where you live, I got the announcement. I got the notification, and I saw it. I'm like, it now says Matthew Lillard is returning for Scream 7. And as you guys know, there are countless people online who believe that Stu is alive, me included. So, I'm sure everyone who saw this is probably like, what the actual hell? Is he really alive? What is going on? And I'm not gonna, I love all these announcements, but it was just too much for me to handle in one day. I was so excited, and everyone else was like, guys, Spyglass, this is too much. You can't do this to us in one day. You gotta break this apart. They gave us literally 2 legacy characters, 2 Ghostface returning in one day. They're silent, and then they just drop these characters. It's oh my god, is there more? Now, before I go into some of the deeper stuff with this casting, what this means for Scream 7, what's gonna happen, how we could see them, I do think that there are definitely going to be more people announced from the past who are probably dead. One of these people, who I'm sure you guys agree on, who's a very famous Ghostface, a very liked Ghostface, one of my favorite Ghostfaces too, Jill Roberts, Emma Roberts, who plays Jill Roberts. I think she could definitely make a return to Scream 7. I think, you know, especially since Roman's back and he was dead, I think Jill could also come back somehow, depending on how they execute it, depending on what they're really planning to do. I think that would be really good in terms of money for this movie and audience, because she has a big following, you know. She's big time now in Hollywood, so I feel like that would be really cool to see, because she could bring in a lot of new people. And the last person who apparently returned is Skeet Ulrich. I wouldn't be surprised if he came back. This isn't a big shocker because we've seen him in the past 2 Scream movies, but apparently he is coming back. I have to look into that because I haven't seen like official announcements yet, but I will, you know, report on that once I see something more, because I haven't really seen a lot from that, but we'll definitely find out on that. But going into the deeper stuff with this movie, like what are these people gonna do now? Few reasons why they're gonna come back. One could be a flashback, which is my most likable reason. Second could be a dream, a nightmare that Sidney has, or a vision that she has. And the last one could be AI. Now I'll just go to the AI one first because that's probably the simplest. As you guys know, AI nowadays is really big, kind of scary in some places, situations. I definitely could picture, and people have mentioned this online too. This isn't my original idea. I'm just sharing you guys what I've heard from them. Is that Sidney gets a FaceTime call from Ghostface, and it's AI like face covers of Roman, Stu, Billy, you know, whoever it is. So that's interesting. That's a new take on Scream. They've never done that before, which is really cool. They're not ahead of the time in this one, thank God. Scream 4 was way ahead of its time, but they're not in this one. They're really like, you know, bringing AI into it, I think, which is really cool. So it'll be more like a Scream 3 voice changer, but modified. And I really hope they keep Roger L. Jackson, because his voice for Ghostface is iconic, and they cannot get rid of that. Now going back into the other reasons. Next one is a nightmare or a vision that Sidney has. We know in Scream 3 she had a vision of her mom, Maureen Prescott, played by Lynn McRee. And I'm sure you guys know, if you haven't already, Lynn McRee actually was very nice, and she did a live stream / podcast on my channel almost a year ago, actually, to this day, which is really cool. But I feel like she could also return. You know, she was in Scream 3 in a vision, so I feel like she could be in another vision again, or a flashback. You know, me and many other fans want her to return to Scream, and I think it would be really cool because she really wants to be in another movie. So Kevin Williamson or anyone from Spyglass or Paramount, if you're watching this, please, 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 please get Lynn McRee back. She would really love to be in another Scream movie. But yeah, that's where I see them going. Another one is the nightmare and the vision like Sidney had in Scream 3. And then the last one would be a flashback. And this is where things get really cool and interesting. We could see like a flashback of Billy, Stu, and Roman talking, planning their attack / you know, kill and massacre of Maureen Prescott. I feel like they could do something like that, like a plan, something like that. You know, Sidney maybe see something in the news or something, and then it cuts back to a flashback. I feel like that would be cool. Now, this also relates to the opening scene of Scream 7. They could do something interesting that no one's ever done before. And that is basically having the opening scene of Scream 7 be Maureen Prescott's death. I think that would be one of the best ideas on how to bring Stu and Billy back, and Roman in this movie, and Maureen Prescott, who is played by Lynn. I think that would be a really cool way to get them together. You know, that would be just a shocker, because we've heard of her death, and Maureen Prescott is the reason why Scream happens. She's the reason why the franchise exists. And I feel like we need to actually see that. I know we believe it because we've seen it in the news with Sidney, and, you know, we've heard about it through all the most of the movies. But I feel like if we actually saw it in the opening scene, just how, you know, how brutal that would have been, you know, how scary it would have been for Sidney, because, you know, she talked about Cotton Weary and the leather jacket and Roman and things like that walking out of the house. This movie could focus on that for the opening scene and lead that into the movie and somehow motivate the movie, you know. Maybe it's brought up some way, and the killer's motive is Maureen, and that's why it was in the opening. I think that would be a really cool way to get those actors back. I think if they do that, it'll be completely different. I don't really think another franchise, maybe they have, I'm not sure, but I feel like for Scream that will be really, really unique. Apparently they're doing something this opening that's different and unique as well. We saw it for Scream 6, we'll see it again, hopefully too. We'll have to wait and see, but I feel like them doing that will be really, really interesting, and I think a lot of Scream fans, including Lynn, would be really happy. And then also, Lenora Shelfo and Nancy Ann Ritter, who play the bathroom girls in the original Scream movie, who don't get killed, they're just in the bathroom talking bad about Sydney's mother, they can return too. They're not dead. They're not ghost faces. They are still alive and well. They were in high school, just passing along in the bathroom. They could definitely come back in Scream 7 and somehow have a, you know, be reunited with Sydney. Maybe there's like a homecoming for high school and they go to it or something. Although I don't think Sydney would go back to Woodsboro for homecoming or reuniting with people, but they can definitely come back since they're not dead. So that's a possibility. So Kevin Williamson, anyone watching, get those two girls back for Scream 7 because they're alive and well. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much all the updates that we have so far. You know, we have Scott Foley returning as Roman in some way or form, and Stu Macher as well in some way or form. Hopefully we also have Billy Loomis, Maureen Prescott. I am crossing my fingers, and the Bathroom Girls for Scream 7. So yeah, I'm so excited for Scream 7, and the day is coming closer every single day, every single minute, second. It's almost 1 year until it releases on the 27th. It'll be 1 year, which is really exciting because it's going to be a really fun year doing this with you guys and, you know, announcing everything and speculating and doing the theories and the countdown. I think it'll be so much fun. Right now, while they're filming, there's so many rumors and, like, little leaks going on that we can, like, you know, theorize from. So I'm just so, like, excited for this, and I think it'll be a really, really good journey from now until Scream 7 releases. But yeah, as I said, before we leave this video, I will be doing many more of these in the future and a lot of cool Scream 7 stuff. So make sure you guys go watch those because they will be dropping. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.